Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar. We spoke about a discussion going on rentals and what's happening in the residential real estate industry. In fact, the latest Anarock data shows that a surge in housing supply has resulted in nearly 50% drop in rental price growth in top cities. So what they are trying to say is in quarter 1, the rental growth was almost 4 to 9%, and in quarter 2, it has dropped to levels of 2 to 4%. This is, of course, till date. The prices have slowed down on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Whether it's a trend which will continue and what's leading to this particular fall that we're seeing in rental growth, Prashant Thakur, the Regional Director and Head of Research at Anarock Group, is joining us now. Prashant, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. You have mentioned that maybe higher supply is one of the reasons why we are seeing these rentals coming down. Do you think that's just it, or even the demand is going down now because people are buying more flats and not so much renting it? Is it fair to say that?
So I would say it's a combination of both, but the prime reason is that there's a huge supply that has come into the market, the ready to move in supply. So 23, if you see, it was a strong record breaking year in terms of delivery. And same, I think, in 2024 also, we are expected to deliver close to 5 lakhs housing unit. So this is one major reason. And second, you're also right to a certain extent that people have, more preference towards buying because the rental surged quite significantly, and people were thinking of rather than buying than renting. But the prime reason is yes, the delivery are quite strong, and we also need to take into account that post COVID, what we saw was a steep surge in the rentals. That there were certain factors behind it. The construction came to a halt during COVID, which kind of delayed the delivery of the projects. And all of a sudden, when the offices reopened, the schools reopened, there was a huge rush to kind of resume the office and school. That led to a surge in rental. But slowly that factor is settling down, and that's the reason we are seeing a slowdown in the growth of the rental. So this is the primary reason that I feel that is playing out in the market right now.
Good afternoon, Prashant. Thanks so much for joining us. So, number one, you've said that given the fact that supply is a lot higher is why this particular phenomenon is playing out. You've been tracking the space for quite some time. Typically, when such a phenomenon occurs, do you think that the trend of lower rising rental yields can continue, or do you expect that this is a one-off, this particular quarter is a one-off, and going forward, once again, you will start seeing a rise as far as rental prices are concerned?
No, it's a classical demand and supply scenario playing out. So as I said earlier, that right after COVID, there was dearth of supply. And now what we have seen that supply is kind of getting normalized. We also need to take into account that this quarter that we are talking about, April to June, which is typically the first quarter of the financial year, is you see the highest amount of rental activity because the schools have reopened, the new financial years, a lot of new offers are rolled out. You see a lot of inward and outward migration of employees. So if this quarter has seen a kind of a slowed growth in the rental growth, I think this phenomena is primarily because the supply has come in, and we expect the supply to continuously hit the market. So it would be a normal growth rather than what we have seen that supernormal growth where people were finding it very difficult in cities like Bangalore and Pune to even find a suitable rental accommodation. So in my opinion, we'll see a stabilized market going forward.
So there'll not be a decline, but a steady growth is what you're saying.
Yes, because see, if you look at the standard rental agreement, it has an inbuilt escalation clause from 5% to 10%. So every year you might see certain increase, but once in real estate, the price if they reach a certain level, they don't come down. They might stagnate for a couple of quarters. That's a different story altogether.
Okay. You spoke about how during COVID it increased. What is the other phenomenon that took place is a lot of these micro markets also came up. In your report, you mentioned Gachibowli in Hyderabad. That is one area which is seeing a lot of development suddenly. There are other micro markets in bigger cities. What kind of rental growth these new micro markets have seen in the last couple of years? Do you think it has been higher than 4 to 9%?
See, we also need to understand one factor that when infrastructure opens up, new land parcels, new micro markets, and you're right that a lot of development is happening on the peripherals of these cities. For example, if you see Gachibowli or let's say other peripherals of Mumbai market, where a lot of activities are happening. So when the supply is huge, there will be an automatic cap on the rentals. So in my opinion, the rental escalation will be in the range of 5 to 6%. in these peripheral markets. The higher rental escalation might come in certain micro markets which are within the city limits and which are very aspirational location. For example, let's talk about South Mumbai. Over there, the rentals might be on the higher side because the supply is limited of the preferred projects that these prospective tenants are looking at. But when you talk about peripherals, you have huge supply and huge option to select from. A lot of townships are coming up, a lot of gated communities with huge amount of inventory is getting completed, which is a good sign that talks about how the entire cycle has been unlocked, where the projects are being launched, it is completed on time, the land acquisitions are quite healthy, which points towards a good and healthy, vibrant real estate market.
Prashant, one follow-up question. You've spoken a lot about rental deals and rental prices. Give us a sense of how residential real estate prices are shaping up now, especially in metros, especially in a city like Bombay. You're seeing quite a few new launches. You're seeing a lot of redevelopment properties coming up and a lot of self-development properties as well that a lot of societies are going for. In that context, how do you see prices shaping up?
See, last 2 years, we saw a steep, run up in the prices. It was more of the catching up phenomena because before that, for almost, 5 to 6 years, the prices did not move up. Now, with everything coming back to normal, huge supply coming in, redevelopment coming in, I expect the price increase would be, in the range of inflation plus 2%. So in the range of, 5 to 8%, you can say that will be the normal increase. It is again, I would reiterate that the basic fundamental of demand and supply is playing out in the market, where now good amount of supply is hitting the market. That's the reason you'll see the price growth happening, but it will not be a supernormal growth that you would see.
Okay, so not supernormal growth, of course, the kind of steep price hikes that we've seen, especially in areas like NCR, and we're not even talking about Mumbai here, not only rentals, even the prices are through the sky. But Prashant, thank you so much for joining us with all your insights. An interesting update that's come by in the residential real estate industry. Rental growth, that is slowing down. It's almost down 50% if we compare